What's going on there, Battlefielders? How you doing, guys? My name is Pone. Welcome to my channel. If you guys enjoy Battlefield 1 content, be sure to click the subscribe button. Got lots of it coming in the future. If you find this video useful, be sure to leave a thumbs up as it helps out a lot. So today, I'm going to be giving you guys kind of a first impressions, but I'm going to go a bit further and talk about the actual alpha review. So I know it seems kind of premature, kind of rating and giving a review of a game that's only been out and in alpha form is kind of like rating a porno on the foreplay. I know there's a lot more to be seen. There's things that are still subject to be changed. Either way, we've had a bit of an appetizer. Let's talk a little bit about what this game truly has to offer, if it's going to be worth your money in the future. And I'm curious to see how this is going to evolve by the time the beta comes out and eventually the full expanded release. So what I think is so interesting about this game, this is something that Battlefield, throughout the journey of my experience with the franchise, has become better and better at. And this is just all around weapon balance. Not individual weapon balance, like this gun versus that gun, but a nice kind of happy area for people that like to use shotguns. So in this case, shotguns are great. SMGs are great. ARs are great. Snipers are great. There's so many great options that every gun that I have tampered with, and I've messed with almost every gun in the alpha so far, has been a decent performing weapon. And that is something that a lot of games don't even get close to anymore. Battlefield has gotten better over the years. The last couple titles they've had, of course, LMGs are more popular. These and those are more popular. Shotguns are decent. One thing I did notice, especially with shotgun gameplay, is shotguns are a little bit more dangerous with range than they used to be. I feel like they're a little bit stronger. And this needed to happen because the melee mechanics have changed. Now the hatchets and everything involved, people can start chunking away at your health in close quarters. So I think something like shotguns need to be a little bit more effective at distance, and I think they executed that just right as well. Now, one thing that I do have a few reservations about is the armor. Now, you're going to probably look at this and be kind of like, well, Pone, that's what tanks are supposed to do, you fuckwit. Basically, tanks in armor are running rampant right now. They are everywhere. They're like wild boars, and they just completely take over and dig up an entire area. And it's meant to happen. So I don't know if this is just a lack of ways to take them down or lack of variety in classes to take them down. Because I remember back in the day, I mean, if I was on recon, I could pull out some C4 and get some goo-goo in there. If I wanted to go ahead and pull out the RPGs or some mines, we're going to have some explosions, guys. So keeping in mind that there's probably a few more toys coming to the mix, I feel like any time that I'm not on the assault class, which is the only class that has some real substantial damage to deliver to armor, I have to use the anti-tank mini-mine thing. You know, it does like 20 damage, occasionally I get a disable or two, but for the most part, with only one of those grenades, which they should probably give two for something like that, I feel like there are very few ways to take down a tank, and there's just not enough damage to it, not to mention that things have changed. It's no longer just RPGs. I'm not sure if they're coming to the game or not, but from the mini cannon that you have to actually lay down prone or pop in a doorway or use some sort of cover, and you have to use the bipod. So it's not like an RPG in previous titles where you can just whip that bad boy out and just let it rip. You can't just do that at the freedom at any location while standing or anything. You have to be vulnerable sitting in one position or laying flat on the ground. And generally standing still for a tank doesn't end well for you. But usually you can get one or two shots in if you're stealthy about it before he notices you. And bye-bye, Mr. Plane. No-fly zone. So this is one of those things that I have a little bit of concern about. I feel like every time I'm in one of these cities and I turn a corner, there's like two tanks waiting for me. And just because there's not enough people taking them down, not enough communication, or maybe just not enough ways to take them out right now. But maybe this will change. We'll see what happens. Things may get weaker. Some may get stronger. We'll see where things go. Now, another thing that I've noticed, and this is one thing that I've been really happy about, and this is just the weather. Now, normally, this is not a big deal to me. I like the effects, and generally maps are given one particular type. For example, Paracel Storm. This map was all about rain. It would pick up, it would slow down. But when you start the match, you don't know what kind of weather. Great sunny day, 92 in the fine war fields. Cool. But maybe it's going to be rainy, and it's going to be really, really interesting. It doesn't change too much, just a little bit extra noise and whatnot, but it just adds a cool atmosphere. The big change for me is when the map is completely surrounded by fog. Now, this does change the entire dynamic of the fight. With fog, snipers are not that resourceful. You don't have to really worry about getting picked, which means you can run from area to area a little bit more carelessly, and this really changes the way the game plays, and because of the limited view, you also can use things like shotguns and SMGs more confidently. They're going to blossom in those areas because, like I said, you don't have to worry about getting picked. Just sniping in fog is a no-no. It's hard to see. Even in the map, it'll be covered by fog, and you can't tell where to spawn and what's going on. So I really like how the weather can completely change the game. Even though it's the same map, even though it's the same teams, the entire experience can differ just because of the type of weather, and that's pretty cool. So it's one of the major things that I like. As for the gameplay mechanics itself, I like the vaulting. I like that you can actually climb over really, really high walls now. I love the smoothness of the game. The reaction is just brilliant. The colors, the visuals, everything that you would expect out of a Battlefield game, and it still feels like Battlefield. It does have the large scale. You have planes, you have aerial, you have everything else, and we haven't had a taste of things like the train warfare and whatnot. Tons of things that are still behind the curtain that are going to be debuted in the next few months, and it's extremely exciting because this base experience has been a marvelous one. So honestly, Battlefield 1 has delivered in every area, impressed me with a few things like the weather and of course the great variety of weapons that I can use confidently. So far, I've been happy with the entire experience in the pre-alpha. It's looking good. I've not really run into any bugs either, so I think that this gives me a little bit of confidence in where the final release is going to lie, because they honestly would have to backpedal from what we are experiencing in the alpha. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, this is a concern that I had initially, you know, knowing that Battlefield has always been about customization. What kind of foregrip do you want? What kind of sight do you want? What kind of scope do you want? All of these ways were interesting in how you customize, but these things were not capable back then. We didn't have all of these EOTechs and stuff like that. Back in World War I, we had limited customization, a lot more recoil, a little bit of a hindrance in some of these sights and scopes, various different origins, so things definitely changed, and I thought that this could be kind of crazy, but in a weird way, it reminded me, and I know people are going to hate this reference, but Call of Duty 4, when things were simple. Everybody had the same type of base advantage, the same type of scope, the same type of this and that, and it leveled the field, and it works quite well. We don't know what kind of customization is going to come to the full release. We will see, and I will cover that in the future, but right now, it works out quite well. You can find which gun benefits you. Like I said, you can pick from 20 different guns and find your favorite. And I honestly like the experience as a whole. They've done a great job. They've executed it in a marvelous way. So I am really excited for this. This is the game that I can't wait to get my hands on for the remaining of 2016. So thanks for watching the video, guys. Be sure to subscribe. Lots of live commentary, aggressive recon, and other things in the future. And good luck to you guys out there. Hopefully we'll have an open beta or something like that soon so everybody can get a taste of this awesome game. Take care, guys.